New York Knicks, right? Hakeem didn't finish with the Houston Rockets. Jordan ended up playing for the Washington Wizards. How many teams did Charles Barkley play on? You get what I'm saying here? Wilt Chamberlain, one of the greatest players ever. He played on multiple teams. So did Kareem. Played with the Bucks and the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? So these things happen. But for the Warriors standpoint, I get it. It was time to move on. Klay obviously told them it was time to move on, and he moved on. He's gone. 3 years for $50 million. But as we're talking about the contract, I do believe the opportunity to win is one. He's got a great chance to win in Dallas. And if you look at both situations right now, who would you say is better positioned to win, Shasky, Dallas or the Warriors? It feels like Dallas is, right?
Yeah, it does.
Coming off a finals appearance.
You know, there's no doubt. And they're riding high right now, and he's going to be one of their missing links. And so that makes a lot of sense. I mean, but we still have to let it play out. I mean, if you told me that Minnesota or Oklahoma City ran away with the West for the next couple of years, I could believe that. If you told me Dallas was really good, like, they're absolutely in the mix. And today, because their superstar is just entering his prime in Luka, and because Kyrie is Kyrie, like, yeah, they're better than the Warriors right now. That's pretty easy to say.
I wonder if Kyrie called, their Anta brothers. Kyrie started wearing Antas after Nike dropped them. I wonder if there was any recruiting from Kyrie over, and hey, Klay, come down here and catch some of these passes. The Anta brothers. The Anta brothers.
Not what I was thinking.
No, I wasn't thinking that at all. I was just throwing that in there. They are Anta brothers. Us. The Antas are going to be, you go from Looney and Klay to Kyrie and Klay. Anyway, that's enough about the Antas. But the years, I do think the years, and I know people are going to say, who cares? Why are you pocket watching this and that? But I do think the years were big here. I do think for Klay Thompson, from what we've learned about Klay Thompson, as he can be sensitive, he could be petty at times. Sure, he could be pouty, but the guy wanted to ball out. At the end of the day, the guy just wanted to hoop. But I do think he came into that offseason saying, man, 2 for 48? I just watched you give Draymond Green 4 years and $100 million with a player option after knocking out our teammate. I mean, this is after he knocked out Jordan Poole.
Yeah, but where I stop you there is, like, if you're going to look at Draymond's contracts, like, that's unfair. You've made $120 million more.
No, it's not about the money. It's about the years, Shasky.
Yeah, but their years never lined up prior.
But he's looking at Draymond getting 3. So he's looking at it like this. He goes into the offseason, and he says, okay, I hear from the ownership group. I hear from everybody. You want the big 3 to retire altogether. You want the big 3 to be here forever. Well, you're giving this guy 3 years at a player option, essentially a 4-year deal. You've already given Wiggins a 4-year deal. Do you really want me to try with the Golden State Warriors when you only give me 2 years? That doesn't match up here.
But where I draw the line is like, okay, so the years don't match up, but over the life of your Warrior tenure, you've made $120 million more than Draymond Green. We've shown you the love. So, like, I'm just not going to agree on that.
It's the years, man. It's the years. I told you, it's the years. He wanted that stability.
Well, again, I think in these negotiations, there's got to be some compromise. Some people have the leverage, like Paul George, to get whatever they're looking for. Steph Curry can clearly get pretty much whatever he's looking for. I mean, Donovan Mitchell right now just signed a 3-year,
$150 million
extension. So, like, I don't know. But now he's got his fair. You can't say I'm watching that guy's contract numbers in terms of year length, but then not the money. Don't look at the money. Well, all of that matters in the contract when we're comparing. If that's what you want to go down the road.
Well, we could go down that road, and I'm telling you that extra year, and we just saw what Paul George could have got a max with the Clippers. Paul George is going to get the max anywhere. He wanted to stay home in L.A., but the Clippers wouldn't budge because I get it, the CBA and the luxury tax, and they just did not want to give Paul George that 4th year. And Paul George said, well, I'm going to call your bluff. I'm going to go get that 4th year somewhere. Those years matter, man. Those years matter. Yeah, I think we're underrating them.
But what about the organization? Like, if I'm the organization, we gave Draymond a 4-year deal. Like, I'm just hypothetically, and we kind of regret it. I mean, like, what about, like, it wasn't great business on our behalf.
But you're Klay Thompson, and you're thinking, man, we empowered a guy and gave a dude 4 years for $100 million, who later on that season commented on my contract, what was going on why I was paid despite being hurt, even though I had to go through rehab in 941 days without playing a game of basketball. And then Andrew Wiggins has a 4-year deal Wait a minute here.
Yeah, but
I get to it.
He's making $24 million.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying who Klay's right in this situation. I'm not saying the Warriors are right in this situation. I'm just telling you, from what I'm seeing here from afar, it sounds like that extra year was a big sticking point. Well, he wanted that third year.
So to me, like the big picture on the Warriors, part of like the thing that I think everybody's afraid to say out loud, but it's just starting to feel like it. And this is the disease of me. This feels a lot like and I'm not, greed is a strong word. That's not where I'm going at. But like everybody wanted their slice of the pie and we're running out of pie here, right? And we're up against it. And so as things start to progress and as you start to age, you don't get to have all the pie that you want. We can only divide up so much, and it just feels like no one wants to compromise at any level, whether it's Draymond for 4 years and $100 million, because they would have had an empty slot or an open slot to be able to get Paul George as a free agent had they not retained Draymond Green. You can't keep everything together, and everyone can't get everything that they want while you're trying to balance your books.
You can't. I hear that. And 650 says, I need to learn simple math. You're saying Klay left to get an extra year and $2 million. No, it wasn't that. The contract that he signed now obviously was dictated by the CBA and the way his season went. 2 for 48 was offered before the year. Things change like the stock market, right? Stocks go up, stocks go down. Obviously, Klay's stock went down a little bit. And the CBA took place, where you got to get under the first and second apron. Yeah. So that's why he got that 3 years. So that's why he's getting the $50 million. Hell, $50 million ain't bad. 3 years, $50 million in Texas, and you don't have to pay state taxes. Now, we'll see how that works out there, but that's all it is. It's just a year. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but obviously that extra year was a sticking point. And hell, the Warriors basically said no to the Lakers. It looked like the Lakers were ready to give him 4 for 80.
I don't know what was in his mind. I can't speak on his behalf, but were the years part of, I think initially when they offered him the 2 for 48, I absolutely believe that was where the years portion that you're talking about, where he felt offended. And I think in terms of market value on a yearly basis, like they clearly read the market pretty well.
Right. Not only that, the fact that, you think about when Draymond signed this deal, happened right away in free agency, right? The Warriors had this negotiating window with Klay Thompson, 10-day window, and there was no offer even. There was nothing even offered.
But again, it's a totally different year and a different offseason where they had to make drastic moves and they had to see if Paul George was available.
No doubt. No, they had to see that. But if you're Klay Thompson, and you can say you shouldn't have this ego, you should wait your turn. But these guys had the biggest egos. This is why they're so great at what they do. You have to have an ego to be great.
But you have
to be an ego to great. So if you're Klay Thompson and you're homegrown in this organization and you're told that, hey, you're not a priority right now. I don't even know if you're priority number 2. You're going to have to wait for us to go get this Paul George deal, and then we'll see what's left over, and we'll come back to you. You're Klay Thompson or any athlete who's been great in this sport that has an ego, that's not going to sit well with you. It's not.
But you can't
watching Brandon Ayuk right now.
I know, but you can't tell me that it's business and this is business and business and then be offended when business plays out. That's where I'm like, all right, well then it's not business. That's was my thing. Like clearly it's more than business. It is.
Brandon Ayuk is saying it's like, damn, I offered the 49ers. I wanted to sign right away after the Super Bowl. I wanted to sign. And then all of a sudden I start seeing my other teammates getting signed, and then all these receivers are getting paid. So yeah, things are changing now with me too. We're seeing this all the time. You better prioritize these players, or these players will sit back and say, nah, Their egos get bruised very, very quickly. Let's go to all the way down in Argentina. Adam and SF, what's happening?
How we doing, guys? Still down here in South America, but I care so much to call into the morning roast to talk about Klay Thompson, so I appreciate you guys having me on.
Love that. What time is it in Argentina?
What time is it for you guys?
7:28. Yeah, 7:30.
So it's 11:30 out here right now.
Wow, 4 hours ahead.
But yeah, nothing too crazy. No, I just wanted to call in. Obviously, we kind of knew that this was coming. It's sad that it happened. You know, I was going back last night after watching your guys' tribute video to watch the 37-point game, the 60-point game, and just, what Klay meant as a Warrior. I'll never forget that, just to say that my favorite story was, obviously Game 6 at OKC was memorable, but that day I had just come from a Giants-Rockies game and I was living in Denver, went to some bar to go watch the game, and Every time Klay made a 3-pointer, I was just yelling my head off that I ended up actually getting kicked out of the place. But I was like, I don't care. We just won Game 6. We're going to Game 7. And I just wanted to say my own thanks to Klay Thompson that he's going to be missed dearly. He was, my second favorite Warrior during this tenure. And it sucks to see him leave. It really does.
Good call, Adam. Good call. I guess all good things come to an end, huh? This is different. 13 years, Shasky. 13 years.